that. I don't know about you, but that sort of comment can get rid of my anger, but it actually doesn't get the result that I want, because the person rejects what I've said and they don't understand why it's a problem. So let's look at SBI. SBI is a popular feedback model. It's simply situation, behaviour, impact. Situation is where or when, behaviour, what I saw or heard, the impact, what this leads to, the result or the outcome. Let's look at an example. So we've got, when you took that customer call just now, I noticed that it ended with someone will call you back. The situation, quite simple. When you took that telephone call just now, that's all it needs to be, just to get them to remember what the situation was, to get their mind back into that place. The behaviour, now when it comes to behaviour, put your observer cam on, or maybe your tutor cam or your manager cam, because the only valid things that you can comment on are what you saw or heard. You've got to see it yourself in order to be able to give that behavioural feedback. So it might be something like, look, when you took that customer call just now, I noticed it ended with, you said, someone will get back to you. The thing to be careful of in giving that feedback is to use I language. What I observed, what I noticed, it seemed to me. You want to avoid you. If you give what you did and I saw you do that, it's finger pointing language, it's accusing, and if you say what I saw, you can't contest that. So the third one, I impact, is what that causes. So you could say, and saying that might leave the customer uncertain about who will call them back and when they'll be called back. And that can lead us to looking unprofessional and not caring about their situation. A couple of other twists. One is when you get to the impact stage, if you think the person is experienced enough to know, you might ask them, what do you think that would leave the customer thinking? What impact do you think that has? So ask the question when you get to that impact stage. Interrogate their mind as to, if you were the customer, what would you feel if you heard that? The other twist is if they need to do differently, you might turn it into a bit of a tutoring session. Look, what I'd like to hear, what we do here, and maybe a bit of rehearsal with them so that they can get the words out of their own mouth and see how it sounds when they do it next time. Of course, don't go away with the thought that SBI is only used for reprimand. It's just as effective when you're giving positive feedback. Look, remember in that meeting, when you took control of the situation, you summarised what people had said. I thought it was really good because they all had the same common ground. It really shifted the focus of that meeting. So, there we are, SBI, Situation, Behaviour, Impact. A feedback model that is useful in either giving positive feedback to reinforce the behaviour you want, or to give critical feedback where you want someone to change the way they're operating and develop their skills.